And while we had originally planned a different show, I thought it would be a kind of a trenchant, really superbly witty episode on the unforeseen economic effects of government subsidies on well-intentioned social service programs. It was gonna be a banger. That was Friday. And a lot has blown up since then. As America has once again returned to the only East we can't get enough of exploding. The middle one. In our 20-year recurring segment.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
I've missed you, Mesopotamia. Early Saturday morning, America and Israel launched a surprise war against Iran. I call it a surprise war because here's what one of the mediators said after negotiations on Friday.
I am confident, and in my assessment of the way the talks are going, the peace deal is within our reach.
The peace deal is within our reach. But it turns out the bomb shit button was much closer. The devastating effects of a regional war have made everyone very nervous, and one person very happy.
This enables us to do what I have long hoped to do for 40 years.
What? I've had 4 decades of regime change blue balls. But of course, the announcement that our nation is at war is the most solemn moment of any president's tenure, and an opportunity to reassure an anxious nation and to reaffirm the righteousness of the cause.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran.
Yeah, I'm sorry, can I just jump in here real quick? This is how we're doing this? 2 a.m., Mar-a-Lago basement, no lighting? You don't even have one of those influencer halo things? Just go down in the basement, and this is what we're wearing? Blazer, no tie, shirt unbuttoned? Looking more like the father of the bride settling up with the caterer? Is that what we're doing? And not to nitpick, obviously, but baseball hat? We're going with a baseball hat? For a war of choice? Oh, I'm gonna go down and make my war announcement. Don't forget the hat I got you! At the airport souvenir store. It's bigger than your head. Put it on. It goes great in the dark. Jesus, man. You had all the options. It's a war of choice. You could have done this at the White House, in a suit, in the I Killed Bin Laden hallway. But no! You decided to go with vacation house, trucker hat, guy who was about to make an announcement at his club's member tournament. It's classy. Reminds me of FDR's Day That Will Live in Infamy speech. The interesting thing about this war, which just started, was that it was clearly a long time in the planning. And yet the American people have heard very little that is consistent about the war's justification or ultimate aims. In fact, the normally loquacious president had an opportunity with the national press on Sunday night after flying back from Mar-a-Lago to the White House, where I'm sure he'd want to clarify the public's uncertainty and reassure us.
President Trump tonight came home from the White House. He usually stops and talks to the press. He completely ignored us, instead stopped and admired some new statues that were being put into the Rose Garden.
Come on. That's fake news. He's not a doddering Mr. Magoo having full-on conversations with inanimate sculpted bronze.
Mr. President, who do you want to lead Iran?
Unbelievable statues, you see.
Did you know the founders were 14 feet tall? And so smooth. By the way, if the president isn't being forthcoming in a time of war, it's not his power to declare war anyway. Where's Congress on this?
The House is set to vote on the War Powers resolution on Thursday.
This coming Thursday? Thursday. Monday, Thursday. You're gonna vote Thursday. The war already f***ing happened. This is Trump's whole presidency. He does whatever the f*** he wants, and then a few days later, Congress is like, excuse me. Roll your window down. Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Roll your window down. Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. You're not allowed to knock down the East Wing without a permit from the Homeowners Association. We're going to let it slide this time, but next time you will lose access to the clubhouse. I swear to God, the United States Congress is like male nipples. Why? Why do you exist? What do you do? Nothing. You do nothing. You just sit there waiting for angels to grab you when we die. I can't think of anything more dismissive and arrogant than this president not directly addressing the American people and explaining this war more thoroughly.
Well, good morning. This is not a so-called regime change war, but the regime sure did change.
Oh, for God's sakes. I stand corrected. Yes, apparently the responsibility of articulating our nation's military strategy in Iran fell to Alpha Beta alum Pete Hegseth, whose humility and just the facts ma'am approach made him the perfect vessel for this important task.
We're not going to go into the exercise of what we will or will not do. We would never, in front of a press pool, lay out how long that may take. Here's exactly how far we'll go. Here's what we're willing to do and not do. It's foolishness. We're not dumb about it.
Is there a concern of this spiraling into a longer war? And then one for the chairman when you're done.
Did you not hear my remarks?
Looks like somebody's been chugging a little too much epic fury. So will any congressional leaders be more forthcoming with the American people? Is anybody going to let the American people in on the plan here?
Is there a plan? Does the president have a plan to guarantee that that happens?
No, it's not his job or my job to do this. How many times do I have to tell you?
Why are you trying to ruin my war? Why? I just started it. I'm having such a good time. I bought a new suit and shiny shoes. The kind you put a nickel in for good luck in my war. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some celebrity canapes and a lime Ricky with my name on it. Good day.
I'm sure that mass evacuations aside, the rest of the war is going great.
Breaking news.
The U.S. Central Command says 3 fighter jets were shot down by friendly fire from Kuwaiti forces. CENTCOM says all 6 crew members aboard the jets ejected were safely recovered and are in stable condition.
Okay, now I know it's not great that our allies shot our planes down, but the good news is that they were probably using the missiles we sold them, so at least we know they work. By the way, can we come up with a new name for friendly fire? Shooting your friend's plane down seems like the least friendly thing you could do. Imagine you find your best friend banging your spouse and he's like, relax, just a little friendly penetration. But you know what? The pilots are okay. We'll just buy some new planes. What do they cost?
We should note that the estimates of costs on these F-15 Strike Eagle jets range from anywhere from $30 million per unit all the way up to $100 million.
Up to $100 million each? You may have lost $300 million in one friendly penetration incident? I mean, look, I live in New York, so I am used to seeing obscene amounts of money wasted on jets, but still, $300 million. Whoa! $300 million is crazy. Now, but on the other hand, if we watch the video in reverse, I just saved us $300 million, so not bad for the old Kosta. And the most upsetting thing about this is that it's all happening under a president who promised that this wasn't going to happen.
I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. No new wars. We don't need the wars. My personality is going to keep us out of wars. I am the candidate of peace. I am peace. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East.
Well, 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 looks like we caught Donald Trump in a lie. That ought to do it for his presidency, huh? Not bad for the old Kosta. You're welcome, America. All right. So to Trump supporters, I'm sorry, but you have to admit he's gone back on his promise by starting a new war.
This isn't a war. We haven't declared war on Iran.
I don't know if this is technically a war.
Strategic strikes are not war.
Nobody should classify this as war. It is combat operations.
Sure. It's a strategic combat operations. Guys, you can call it whatever you want. We all know it's a war. This reminds me of how my Aunt Trudy, she used to bring her so-called roommate to Thanksgiving every year. We all knew they weren't roommates. They were soulmates, and they were scissoring. The war with Iran is just like my two gay aunts. Shown here exactly how they look. By the way, this all seems a little familiar. Where else have I recently heard such a pathetic attempt to not call a war a war?
Russian forces began hitting targets in Ukraine overnight. Russian President Vladimir Putin announced what he called a special military operation. He refused to call it a war.
Ah, great. Always good for the country to have the same messaging strategy as Vladimir Putin. We don't need Trump copying more shit Putin does. It's a slippery slope that could lead to the worst possible scenario, Trump going shirtless. And I know they don't want to admit it's a war because that would require Congress's approval and directly contradict President Trump's promises. But they're also so desperate not to call it a war that one conservative newscaster is arguing with his own graphics package.
All right, war with Iran? Maybe it's war in Iran.
War from Iran?
A growing crisis nationwide, male loneliness.
15% of American men say they have no close friends, and 50% say they have 3 or fewer friends outside of family members.
I literally don't got no friends. It's like you gotta go somewhere to make friends. And I don't go no where.
What am I supposed to, like, cozy myself up to another man and be like, hey, man, you want to be friends? Do you want to go play tag sometime?
Yes! Yes! That's what you're supposed to do. I mean, don't use that voice. It's kind of creepy. But that's what you're supposed to do. Put in the work. He probably don't have no friends either. And it affects me as a woman because men who have trouble talking to other guys can't talk to women either.
Pew Research found that roughly half of men surveyed said a key reason they struggled to get a date in the past 12 months was the difficulty of approaching women.
50% of men aged 18 to 24 have never approached a woman in person in their life.
Half of young men haven't approached women ever. Talking to a woman is easy. I've seen y'all beat a game of Madden in 20 minutes. But you can't take 2 seconds and say hey to a woman? Women are way easier than video games. We have one button you need to figure out how to press. One! Just one button. Where are the daddies? Where's the uncles, the older cousins? Y'all don't have no good role models. Instead, you got these creeps.
Women are so ridiculous as people.
One of the biggest mistakes we made was letting women have rights.
Women usher in all of the bad things that happened in society forever.
Yeah. Fellas, these toxic podcast guys aren't here to help you. Their entire business model relies on keeping you alone and angry and buying their sponsor flashlights. You know you can spend a whole day with an actual woman, right? How long can you spend jerking off?
On a normal basis, like 6 to 7 hours, probably like 12 at the max. I'm not Superman.
So for 12 hours,
yeah, I think that would be the max,
watching pornography.
Mm-hmm.
Jerking 9 to 5 ain't no way to make a living. 12 hours a day? You're working overtime, dude. Your dick needs to join a union. And you know how pathetic this is? Even when they're jerking off, they're not even jerking off to real women.
There's a dramatic surge in the use of so-called AI companions.
I will be whatever you want me to be.
Stop f***ing these cartoons! Don't you want a woman you can actually put your arms around?
I've gone from sharing experiences with a real girlfriend to sharing experiences with a synthetic one.
Dean shares his house with a total of 7 dolls.
This is Sherry. I thought, I need some diversity. I need some different ethnic groups in my doll collection. And this was the most African-looking head that I could find.
The good news is Donald Trump is in charge, and I'm sure he's diligently thought through all of the wartime scenarios.
What's the worst-case scenario that you have planned for in Iran?
Well, I don't know if there's a worst case. I guess the worst case would be we do this and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? That could happen.
Yeah! Yeah, no shit. You're just thinking about this now? I do 6 months of research before I buy a new shampoo. Trump's like, I just realized starting a war in the Middle East could have some downsides, huh? So it's a little disturbing that he says it as casually as when you realize you've never seen a bird's penis before. Do they even have them? But Trump's right. You don't want a new leader who is just as bad as the old one. So I'm sure the administration has a deep bench of candidates ready to step up, right? Right?
President Trump said some Iranian officials his administration was hoping could take over have been killed in the war.
Well, most of the people we had in mind are dead. So, we had some in mind from that group that is dead. And now we have another group. They may be dead also.
Okay. Well, the good thing is there's a third group. Oh, what's that? They're dead also? And the fourth group's dead? And the fifth group's dead. They're all dead. I cannot believe this. You killed all the candidates. Even the ones who were willing to accept a lower salary because they appreciated the potential for long-term career growth? Now, if I was Iran, I did what my middle school did when my English teacher had a baby and just let a gym teacher be the Ayatollah for a little while. But apparently they have another plan.
So who is running Iran? The late Ayatollah's son has reportedly emerged as a leading candidate.
Boring. Come on, dude. You're not supposed to follow in your dad's footsteps. Where's your rebellious spirit? I don't want to be the supreme leader, Dad. I just want to dance. But the job has a lot of long-term career growth, so I don't see a good reason why he wouldn't take it.
Israel's defense minister this morning said anyone Iran appoints will be an unequivocal target for elimination.
Damn. An unequivocal target for elimination. What a fancy way to say we're going to kill you. The Ayatollah's son is probably like, you know what, now that I think about it, I'm not really a management type. I'm kind of more of a creative guy. Now, my asshole stepbrother, though, he's Ayatollah material for sure. I guess Secretary Pete's bravado clears one thing up. This is very much a war, which puts him at odds with what senators like Mark Wayne Mullen have been saying.
This isn't a war. We haven't declared war. We are not at war with Iran. This isn't a war. This isn't a war with Iran.
Yeah. Not a war? I thought it was obviously a war since, you've been speaking next to a map of all the places we're bombing in the war. Also all the, and the I don't know how it all works, okay? And I'm not the only one who's confused by this, because it seems like Mark Wayne is also getting confused.
This is war, and we're taking out the threat. And if you're part of the threat, then you're a target.
You'll concede this is war.
We haven't declared war. They declared war on us, but we haven't.
War. Secretary Hicks said
we haven't declared.
Just now, you said this is war.
They called it war.
They called it war. What I was saying. Okay, well, that was a misspoke.
Yeah. Did he say that was a misspoke? Hard to believe the guy who said he did a misspoke did a misspoke. Now, I know it seems like Mark Wayne's contradicting himself, but what you got to understand is that Mark thinks this is a war, but Wayne thinks it's not.
It was supposed to be an evening of Hollywood glamour mixed with British royalty. But the British Film Awards ceremony known as the BAFTAs is facing outrage after black actors Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo took the stage, only for the N-word to be shouted from the audience.
Now, ordinarily, I dismiss this as another story about a racist slur, but let's go a little deeper.
The shout came from John Davidson, who lives with Tourette syndrome, a condition that can cause people to make sudden, involuntary tics.
This is a tough one. Because you gotta understand, this is hard for me as a black person, because every time I've been called the N-word, I was told the white person couldn't help it, you know? No, they're old, they're from the South, or they bet on Tyson and he lost. And now I'm confronted with someone who actually couldn't help it. So it's kind of hard to know what to do with your anger here. And the internet at large made this out to be diversity versus neurodiversity. So to go a little deeper, the man who shouted out the slur was John Davidson, who was at the BAFTAs because there was an award-winning movie based on his life with Tourette's. So yes, his outburst was involuntary and he addressed it in a statement afterwards. But right after that, I saw a lot of white people who don't have Tourette's giving him a pass, which is weird because white people don't hand out those passes. White people don't give out passes to say the N-word the same way I don't give out the passes to Cracker Barrel. I know that's not my place. The BAFTAs also tried to apologize during the ceremony, and here's how it went.
You may have heard some strong and offensive language tonight. The tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette's syndrome has no control over their language. We apologise if you were offended.
If you were offended? I mean, the only two options are being offended or liking it. Saying if ruins a whole apology the same way kind of ruins a whole wedding vow. Now, BAFTA did make an announcement in the room before the ceremony that there could be outbursts, but they didn't do enough.
Well, John Davidson is said to be deeply mortified by the incident on Sunday. He has now said to the BBC, "Why on earth was I allowed to sit so close to a microphone?"
They sat him next to a microphone?
Unlike in his first term, Donald Trump's cabinet in his second term has been a model of stability. It's been an entire year, and he hasn't fired a single cabinet member. Wow. I mean, with that level of consistency, you got to imagine that the first one to finally get canned would have to be a real embarrassment, an absolute disappointment. Just a totally incompetent, unprofessional, dipshitty.
Breaking news into CNN. Kristi Noem is out as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security.
Yes! And now that she's gone, the Trump administration is going to be great. Wait, I tricked you. But that's right, you heard Trump, Kristi. Time to turn in your badge and your cowboy hat and your bigger cowboy hat and your flak jacket and your night vision goggles and your firefighter costume. Oh, and also your camel. What was your job again? Now, this firing comes right after she was called into Congress for a hearing about her many controversies. There was the handling of ICE in Minnesota, accusations of corruption. There's also rumors she's been having an affair with her also married special advisor, Corey Lewandowski, on a private jet with a bedroom in the back. But I mean, I'm sure members of Congress, they're not going to go there.
Could you explain this?
Sir, I'm looking at a picture of an interior. Looks like a bedroom.
Of an airplane?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
God damn. Can you imagine being confronted about your affair with a picture of the actual bed that's so big the cameraman had to zoom out? But don't play coy with us, U.S. Congress. If you've got a question to ask Kristi Noem, just ask it.
So, Secretary Noem, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Holy shit. Finally, one of these hearings is going to get interesting, you know? Normally it's just blah, 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 human rights violations, blah, 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 concentration camps, blah, blah, blah. This is probably the first time Kristi Noem wanted to be like, lo siento, no hablo inglés. But hey, here's your chance to put this whole Corey Lewandowski rumor to bed. Bad choice of words. Either way, Kristi, set these people straight.
I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today in the federal government.
So, reclaiming my
as an
time,
advisor,
Secretary, it is okay for you to be offended by the question. It is okay for you to be offended by the question. But it is also a real question.
So what I would say
and
to
you should be able to answer the question.
What we do at the Department of Homeland Security every single
and without
day,
any hesitation.
Every single day is...
Hey, let Kristi Noem finish. At least that's my advice to Corey Lewandowski. And by the way, I should point out that of all the words Noem said in there, none of them were an actual denial. Reminds me of the move I pulled in high school. Michael, did you poop in the urinal? To even engage in such a question in a place of education, no less. Now, apparently, it wasn't even the affair that got her canned. If anything, the sex plane probably bought her a few weeks, you know? Trump was like, she's a huge embarrassment in every way, except for that flying palace. Game recognized game. And don't worry too much about Kristi. She's already got a new job that's every bit as important.
The current Secretary, Kristi Noem, will be moving to be special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere.
Ah, yes, yes. The special envoy for the Shield of the Americas Western Hemisphere Division. You know it's a promotion when the job was just invented 6 minutes ago using refrigerator magnets. I can't wait to see what outfit she'll wear for that. But now that Noem's out at Homeland Security, who's replacing her? You know what? I don't care who it is, just as long as it's someone with one first name.
The president has named Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin to be the next DHS Secretary.
God damn it! Now, obviously, Markwayne Mullin can't be senator and a cabinet secretary at the same time. So the way it works is Mark will serve as Oklahoma senator while Wayne will run DHS. I turn. Good luck to Markwayne, and congrats to Corey Lewandowski. He now gets to bang Markwayne Mullin on that plane. Hey, man, I come with the plane, and so do you.